Playoff-bound Las Vegas Lights return home to take on the Oakland Roots. And tonight's broadcast is presented by Layuna 872 Laborers Union. The Lights in second place welcome Oakland Roots, who are straggling near the playoff line with just 2 games remaining. Joined by Gary Bailey, Mike Watts, tonight's standings are brought to you by La Bonita Supermarkets. If you're Oakland, this is starting to get a little bit fraught, isn't it? You're only 2 points over the line.
Yeah, it's been a really, really rough time for Oakland Roots. They've just scored 1 goal in the last 6 games. They've battled to get any points at all, and they're in danger of being caught by San Antonio. It's a massive, massive day today for Oakland Roots. For Las Vegas, well, it's really about cementing that second position if they can. Sac Republic struggling at the moment. We'll give you those scores as we go along. So it's glory and positive times for Las Vegas. It's nervy days for Oakland Roots.
San Antonio and Louisville have just gone final. Lambert getting an equalizer after Philip Goodrum's goal late in the first half. And so the draw tonight no longer relevant for the Oakland Roots to clinch a playoff position. Instead, they need to win today along with that San Antonio draw. With 1 game remaining after this, you better get it done tonight or you're going to risk having a very awkward conversation on the last day.
Yeah, and I believe San Antonio have the head-to-head, so should they end up level on points after the final game of the season, they will go through and not Oakland Roots. So, as we said, massive, massive game today for the Roots.
No doubt. Now let's talk about Las Vegas. It's a season to remember, and it's not done yet. Record in points, in goals, and if they win today, it'll be the biggest year-on-year turnaround in the history of the league.
Oh, absolutely fantastic goals coming from everywhere. We saw one from Duty. This is Sean Smart coming on the right-hand side. Joe Zhao absolutely thumps this for the Birmingham win. They've been scoring goals for fun, as you say, breaking records. Corey Bennett, they can afford to put him on the bench. Now for Oakland Roots, that man there, Johnny Rodriguez, is probably the only one who's really been scoring, got double digits. There's been the odd goal from others, but again, Johnny Rodriguez, it's all about him. Can they get him on the score sheet? Or Cam Riley pops up with a rare goal from a cross.
That magic number coming into the night, just 4 points. Now Johnny Rodriguez is going to start in the 9 over Dom Dwyer tonight.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision. He's the man in form. He's the one they've got to get the ball to. And he's the one, as you can see here, got that special touch around goal. So if anyone's going to pull Oakland Roots through, you have to get a feeling it'll be that man, Johnny Rodriguez.
So Oakland trying to win and earn their place in the postseason with Johnny Rodriguez leading the way for Las Vegas. If they win, combined with a Sacramento defeat, that game ongoing right now, they could lock up the 2 seed and the chance at multiple home games. History made, and it's only just begun. Oakland and Las Vegas are coming your way next.
All right, team. I'm not angry. I want to know who broke this. I want to make sure this doesn't happen again in the future. We found this tangled up in the transfer rollers. Who did this?
AIS is a proud sponsor of the Las Vegas Lights Football Club.
Hey, bud. This doing nothing all day isn't good.
You should be out making friends.
Lots of friends.
Why? Huh? Because I'm not enough? By myself? Because you would love me more if I was always bringing over new money friends?
Yes.
It's called earning dividends, dear.
Get your money working with amazing certificate rates now at AmericaFirst.com. Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We're proud to offer 11 conveniently located imaging centers across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
Mi raza bonita, desde 1991 hemos compartido nuestras tradiciones mexicanas. Desde muy temprano, nuestros panaderos empiezan a elaborar los bolillos y el pan dulce. y las tortillas todos los días salen calientitas. Le digo algo, mi raza bonita, lo que está hecho en la bonita, está hecho en Las Vegas.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Liuna 872. Feel the power. By Great Clips. And by America First Credit Union. To meet the starting lineups, we start with Las Vegas, and they continue to make a number of changes to the team.
Yeah, 4 changes from the side that beat Birmingham. Malik Howell comes in at centre-back. Charlie Adams out, and you'll see Jaban goes from centre-back into midfield. Then the whole front 3 have changed. In comes Solo Asante, Christian Pinzone, Valentin Noel, and on the bench, Vaughn Koval, Corey Bennett, and Joe Zhao. So some big hitters on the bench for Vegas. For Oakland, just the 2 changes from the team that lost to Phoenix, and it is both an attack. Out go Dom Dwyer and Trayvon Reed. In comes Jose Sinistera and Justin Rasmussen in what should be a 3-4-3 shape. Only 1 goal in the last 6, Mike. They need somebody up front to do something, I reckon. Their best chance is that Johnny Rodriguez.
And so at Cashman Field tonight, everyone jonesing for a good match. This could well be a playoff game come the quarterfinals, and if it were to happen, it would be right here. Tonight's kickoff is brought to you by America First Credit Union and Las Vegas kickoff against the Oakland Roots. Well, Oakland just trying to hang in the playoff field. A win would do the job. Meanwhile, for Las Vegas, a win tied with a Sacramento defeat tonight, and they were losing in the 75th minute. Be enough to see Vegas, shockingly, take the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. And a win tonight would propel them 34 points over last year's total, should tie Charleston for the biggest turnaround year over year in league history.
And with a game to go, to exceed that level, it's just been a success story from beginning to end from Dennis Sanchez, who, as we've said many times, back in February put this team together. He had nobody. One by one they got the players in. They started the season off and weren't quite sure what to make of them. They just got stronger and stronger with every game, and now they're the one side that probably you least want to meet if you get to the playoffs if you're in the West, because this team outpossess teams, they outscore them, they keep enough clean sheets to make beating them extremely difficult.
1 loss in the last 20 games for Las Vegas Lights, a team that essentially got built in preseason. They weren't able to run 11v11 when they first started camp. And a roster that was built in February is prepared to compete into November.
Absolutely, and it's also in stark contrast to Oakland Roots, not 1 in 6, well, put it differently, 5 losses out of 6, 1 point from 18. A team that going back about, was it 2.5, 3 months, was sitting 2nd in the table. So you worry because the trend for Oakland Roots is just straight down the hill at the moment. And for Gavin Glinton, he's got to find a way to turn this around before they hit the playoffs. And that's if they hit the playoffs. If they keep losing, they might not.
It's becoming concerning to say the least. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Desert Radiology. Oakland not reporting any injuries here tonight, although Napo Masoso is unavailable for the team. Meanwhile, for Las Vegas, it is regrettably a familiar list of players that remain unavailable for them. Notably, Corey Bennett getting a chance to rotate out of the 11. The leading scorer in the Western Conference with 13 goals will come off the bench tonight. No injury, simply just a chance to get a little bit of freshness late in the year. Here's Noel.
Yeah, they do love to change their sides, they being Dennis Sanchez, because he gets to choose. It's now 12 different lineups in the last 12 games. But he says rotation's part of the way they do it. They give players rest, they rotate, they play a squad game.
Ball blasted at Marks, and the follow-up is in! Oh, finally Oakland have a goal! They needed it so desperately, and it is Johnny Rodriguez on the spot!
Well, we picked him out. We said he's the guy to score the goals. He's just got a nose for goals. He's in the right place at the right time. But credit the shot that comes in. It puts George Marks under all sorts of pressure here. And it's the shot that forces Marks to have to make that one-handed save. He can't push it away from danger. In fact, he pushes it to the only white shirt in that box. As a goalkeeper, he might feel perhaps he could have done differently there, but the effort coming in from out wide was a decent shot. And wow, what a start to this match for Oakland Roots.
Just 1 goal on 75 shots in the last 6 games. Unlucky, missing sitters, lack of confidence, add them all together. And the Oakland Roots snag the opening goal 3 minutes into the match. Wow. Well, how about we look at tonight's keys to the game? They're brought to you by Silver State Schools Credit Union. Is this ball knocked down? Service Johnny Rodriguez?
Tick.
I promise this was pre-planned before the goal.
Yeah. And stay compact defensively, obviously. Been conceding way too many goals. For Las Vegas, control the tempo. They love to keep control of the ball. They have a very high percentage possession. They move you around. They prod and poke and find gaps in the game. And this is how they play it. So that's what they'll be trying to do. This won't worry them. They're 1-0 down. They've been in this situation before. And they have come back strong every time. They were 1-0 down against Orange County in the last home match and came back to draw that 1-1.
Sante working off of Gannon. Ball dipping across toward pin zone. Blake Howell, who's coming off a hamstring injury, steps in. And ultimately, free kick won by the Lights. Duty hobbles out of it. Here's Ngando. Gannon. Not the best touch. Ultimately able to retain now through contact. Sante through the width to the end line. Smart. Sante, a little give and go, end line, ball cut across, ricochets out, and Ngando the target, corner.
A little bit of a cameo there of how Las Vegas play, moving the ball around. They try, if it's blocked, they recycle, bring it around, try a different angle. But so many good touch players, of which Solo Asante is still one of the best in those tight areas.
Twice league MVP in Phoenix. Auritos presents the corners. Ball whipped through, target was Noel. Wrong-sided Rodriguez on the run out. Duty calling for it down the left side. We had a chance to talk to Dennis Sanchez so much of this year. There have been big crowds here in the early years of Las Vegas Lights as Oakland win the ball at the cusp of the halfway line, and now working their way down the end line again, although this deflected out with relative ease. Gomez, the service again, heavily involved in the opening goal. Corner the other way. Sante is down behind the play.
Touching his knee and his hamstring. He seems to have a bit of a problem there. But you mentioned Johnny Rodriguez in open play. The previous 4 goals that they've scored, and you've got to go back many games to cover those 4 goals, have all come from corners. So this is the first goal in open play, and I don't know how many games, but I'm sure it's you know, it just breaks that drought and probably gives the Oakland Roots players confidence that hopefully for them, the bad times are over.
They needed it the worst way. Memo Diaz to take the corner for the Roots. Diaz swinging in, Smart rises to the occasion. early days of light soccer, this place was a bandbox. Smoke and all the promotions, and the team never really lived up to it, and gradually that's grated away at the fan base. Frustration with previous ownership eventually becoming quite obvious. This drops down, and maybe there's work to be done here. Sinistera stabs inside, not to be. Slide wins it back for the Roots. Diaz. But Dennis Sanchez called it heartwarming to clinch on home ground. What an opportunity for them to try and re-invoke those early emotions about this Lights team. Pitchforked in all the way down to Marks.
Yeah, first time in their history they qualified. They did it, as you say, last home match against Orange County. But I think huge credit to the new owners, Jose Bautista and general manager and everybody else involved, because it really, as you say, the first thing they did was make it professional, get rid of all the, what was it, swing pools and plunge pools on the side of the pitch, and mattresses, money being dropped at half-time. And yeah, I get the idea. It's Vegas, and you want to try and create that. But they said, let's be professional. I think they built those stands on the far side, and they've really sort of focused on what it takes to be a good soccer club. I think they've achieved that in a short period of time, in less than a year, and that is true credit to ownership, management, coach, and all the players. Absolutely brilliant.
Here's Zingando. Muscling away, Sinistera's got it. Rodriguez, the 11th goal of the season, had a dozen last year. Comes in the 3rd minute. Sees Oakland ahead. This is a vital 3 points for them as it pertains to ensuring a playoff spot if they can get it.
Absolutely. Then just credit Justin Rasmussen with the shot that George Marks was unable to handle. He's come in as one of the 2 changes, and I'm sure he's come in with the question of, make opportunities for us.
Clever work. Here's Noel. Knocked away. Paul Blanchette, Paul the Wall, puts it out. Noel slithered into a dangerous position and tried to curl it by one of the league's best.
Just shows you how quick and clever they are around the edge of the box. A couple of little step overs, gets a bit of an angle. Have a look at that step over, 1-2, gets his angle, bends it in far post. As you say, good save from Blanchette. He's pumped up, and they know they're going to have to battle to keep a clean sheet here tonight, Oakland Roots. But if they do, the prize is the playoffs.
Corner flicked on. Drops down, curling the outside of the post of Blanchette from Sean Smart.
Yeah, defense hasn't been their strong point this season, Oakland. Most goals conceded in the West, 50, but the worst goal difference. 2nd worst in the entire USL, behind Miami.
And line, back heel goes in. Looked like it hit off of Hackshaw. An own goal sees Las Vegas on level terms. And if that's not a descriptor of Oakland's defensive struggles this season, I don't know what is. Vegas will take it, 1-1.
Wow, that's heartbreaking for Blanchette. We were just saying it's going to be a long game of defending. Well, already they've conceded, and they haven't had the best defenses we were just giving the numbers to, but this is so unlucky. Pinzone trying to create something there, and Pinzone goes to cross it, and it hits the heel of Hackshaw and just goes in. I mean, there's so many white shirts defending. They've got everything under control. There's some things you can't control, and this is one of them. A little bit of bad luck there. I mean, how unlucky must you be to concede from that angle?
Well, game on here in Las Vegas, by hook or by crook. It's sort of emblematic for both teams. Vegas has gotten the bounces from time to time. Oakland certainly is not. Sante got a touch, Hackshaw, strong-willed header away. Brings it in now. A win for Las Vegas paired with a Sacramento loss, and they're trailing El Paso on the road 2-1. Sacramento down to the team at the bottom of the Western Conference. Could secure a Las Vegas #2 finish in the West. Meanwhile, Oakland with a win still could not get a home game. They do not have the tiebreaker on Colorado Springs, who sit in 4th. So the best they could finish is 5th. Of course, they can, in fact, miss the playoffs altogether. With a draw, they'd sit on 42, which is above the line, but San Antonio, as we mentioned earlier, holds the season series, so they could still get caught by them.
Yeah, San Antonio's final match is Detroit City, which isn't easy, but Detroit have qualified, so they might just find a weakened side or a side that's being rested, and San Antonio could very possibly get those 3 points in that final game.
Detroit and San Antonio has been the weirdest scheduling I've ever seen from the league. They either play the first game or the last game, but never in between.
Yeah, and the final game for Oakland is Birmingham at home, who I think are officially out of the playoffs now. So that might turn out to be an easier game, or they might just, with nothing to play for, be able to relax and put up a performance. So no guarantee that Oakland do beat Birmingham at home, but you do suspect that if they do need points, there'll be a fantastic turnout for Oakland Roots.
Noel opening here, and Gondo off the post. That is 3 attempts to curl that from left to right across the face of Blanchette. Made 1 great save, dove for 1, saw it ultimately go off target, and that one smashes off the post from Ngondo. And now steered back to Blanchette.
I think Las Vegas are just showing why they're such a good side. They just keep creating opportunities. So unlucky from JC and Ngondo. Yeah, they were lucky with the goal, absolutely, but that comes from getting in the box, putting in crosses, probing, testing, just making life miserable for the opposition. And I suspect that's what's going to happen here for the majority of this match. Oakland are going to have to be really focused and tough in defense if they want to come away with something from Cashman Field.
Powell. Here's Grayson Duty. Run in from Montreal, his 8th start now for the club. Ngondo. Noel trying to glide inside, shoved off by Mark Vilashvili. By the way, can update in the West. The bottom 3 are all now eliminated. Monterey Bay, Tulsa, and El Paso. And so with Memphis, Colorado Springs, Sacramento, Las Vegas, and New Mexico in, it is 4 for 3 spots. That's the ball off the post a moment ago. So some combination of Orange County, Phoenix, Oakland, and San Antonio are going to get in. Ball efforted in behind. Of course, if San Antonio takes the full 3 against Louisville, that would change everything out there. Although that one did, in fact, just go final last 10-15 minutes, 1-1. Same can be said here for Oakland if they were to take the full allotment.
So am I right in saying that with that San Antonio draw, they cannot catch Orange County or Phoenix?
No, looks like that should be done. It's just not updated on the standings yet.
Obviously, it depends on how their games go.
Better smashed down, sent away by Las Vegas. Sort of a constant game of arithmetic.
Yeah. It's all in the live table, so while it says they can't catch them in the live table, things could change with Orange County and Phoenix, their results. So I think it all goes down to the final game of the season, probably, but we'll know more as the evening goes on.
Indeed. Ngondo. In zone in reverse. Ngondo wide. Asante. Battling through that early knock in the first 5 minutes. Gannon. too far for Rodriguez to make a real play.
Certainly dominating this early part of the match, Las Vegas. Oakland just stuck in their own half. Even when they get over the halfway line, they're not able to hold and keep any possession. All they're doing is defending. That gets tiring after a while.
Gondo will catch up to this, although Camden Riley, good step. Rodriguez in the third. Seeming boon to Oakland's playoff hopes. The Hackshaw own goal. As quick as it came, it was gone. Noel. John Kensey Noel in Cleveland is Big Christmas. I suppose that makes Valentine Noel Little Christmas by comparison. Pinzon chasing, rang off of Gannon. That is a free kick to Las Vegas, and neither side won that encounter. Smart's down.
It's hard to see who was at fault there, because I thought Smart's boot was up in the air initially as the contact was made. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like either player's too injured, which is good. Oh, spoke too soon. Let's have a look at it again. I think it's Smart's foot's in the air, and it catches Babakar Njai in the stomach. I think that's a free kick the other direction. Although again, we get the benefit of replay. Referee doesn't, calls it in real time.
I think it's very gracious for you to suggest that that was only his stomach. I don't know that that's what got hit there.
Yeah. Either way, very painful. And I think you can see Hackshaw just raising his foot, saying, "Come on, ref." Can't raise a foot and kick someone, and the free kick goes in the other direction. But I don't think that's the argument. Is the ref just sees it very briefly, has to make a quick call, and felt that it was Njai who was a transgressor.
Well, good to see Njai back up. As the new NWSL team in Boston might say, that kick got too many balls.
And they're making the headlines there in Boston in women's football, that's for certain.
They did that. I think you could very easily argue Njai got the wrong end of that.
He's not happy at all with Smart, but I think he's accepting the apologies.
Yeah, certainly no ill will in it.
Yes. Yeah, he's going for the ball, Smart. A good player, Sean Smart, very, very quick. Has had a number of assists this season, gets down that right-hand side and whips the ball across. Had the assist for the Pinzon winner against Sac Republic recently. Keep an eye on him throughout this match. He's an exciting prospect at just 20 years of age.
See Njai trot back in. Hopefully no generational harm. Here's Hafferty.
Some stats up there. You've got that possession 76%. And yet, funny enough, it's Oakland who got the higher expected goal from that shot from Rasmussen.
Followed by the eventual tap in from Rodriguez.
The problem for me for Oakland is that they're really battling here. They've battled in previous matches, lost at home to Phoenix Rising. Maybe should have scored because their expected goals was 1.36, but lost that. Drew at Memphis, which I thought was a decent result. Cam Riley with that header from a corner, but then they lost before that at home to FC Tulsa. Expected goal just 0.72. So it's unimpressive performance followed by another unimpressive. And here they are, we're hardly getting their foot on the ball. So if they're going to get into the playoffs and do something, you just get the sense that they need to take it up another gear somehow. Not sure how. That's for Gavin Glinton to figure out, but if this is the form they take into the playoffs, assuming they get into the playoffs, I just don't see them going very far.
They have not scored multiple goals in a game in their last 9. That's to August 10th. You mentioned last in goals conceded in the West. That does not ring up a promising playoff run. But they finish here in Las Vegas and then host what's apparently a Birmingham team without hope the final day. And you'd have to assume Birmingham, traveling a couple time zones over, won't be the most enthused. Nevertheless, Asante the give and go. Whistle's gone here, free kick to Las Vegas.
And Sean Smart just showing his pace down that right-hand side and tempting Njai into a creating or giving a free kick away, rather conceding a free kick. Discussion going on between Sean Smart and the referee.
Set piece coming here for Las Vegas. Held up well by Pinzon. And now Las Vegas descend. Gannon returns again. Floated long. Header steered out to Ngondo. There's a selflessness to this Las Vegas team. There isn't one star. It's not the same guy every week. Now, you could say Corey Bennett's goal-scoring tear has coincided with their best form of the year. There is sort of this beautiful, fluid, attacking football they play at their best. It's been a real joy to watch progress.
They're all very good players on short, quick passes, and they're able to move it around so well. Tony Rodriguez looking for a bit of support. No other white shirts around. He tries to do anything he can do, which is win a free kick, but I don't think they've bought it, have they? Well, maybe they have. Maybe the referee has given the free kick, in which case, well done, Johnny Rodriguez.
There it is. The 2024 USL playoffs presented by Terminix kick off in just 2 weeks' time. Complete USL playoff info available at USLChampionship.com.
Just looking at this in a match in which you probably are not going to get many clear-cut chances if you're Oakland Roots. These set pieces with Cam Riley and company there, and a delivery, I assume, from Memo Diaz. If you put it on target, that's a little half chance to maybe get a crucial goal.
Diaz, decent ball. Had Riley sitting centrally, and while there was a little more time than Vegas had anticipated, they're going to give the corner.
You just see from Riley's expression after that ball came in, he thought he was on the end of that. It was inches away from being perfect for him. Great delivery, from Memo Diaz.
Diaz will try from the other side. Career high 7 assists this season for Memo Diaz. Diaz curling in, punched away by Marks. Hackshaw was waiting, and that is a load, a mountain of a man. And the follow gets pitchforked out over the end line.
Did well there, Marks. Coming over a lot of bodies. He's on loan. Marks, as a number of players, has done some good business. Las Vegas, Duty's on loan, Jabang along with Marks. They've also just recently signed Gartig and Coville, so it's not just they've been playing well, they've also been constantly adding extra good talent to their squad, and they've got great depth at the moment.
Marks making his second start. Raiko Rosarena is back with the team after a 2-game stint with Cuba, the home and home in the quarterfinals of CONCACAF Nations League this week. Cuba out at the hands of Trinidad and Tobago. And with a third game in short order and arriving midweek, Felt Marks better to keep the shirt for this game. Also performed well enough against Birmingham to keep it.
He made one save. Then it was a shot from 40 yards out from Tabor Tucker. Went over his head and he got back brilliantly to just tip it over the crossbar. So really good save, which is why a little bit disappointed with the opening goal from his perspective. Shot out wide that he should have dealt with better than dropping it right in front of Johnny Rodriguez. I'm not saying he has to hold it, it's just you've got to push it away from danger. And he wasn't able to do that. And if you're going to be a top quality keeper, I think you have to have that ability.
Sinistera, ball drops down, Rodriguez plays back. Gomez trying to close it down, touched away by Jabang. Do have an update from elsewhere in the Western Conference with substantial implications to this game. El Paso has upset Sacramento at home tonight, 2-1. Lucas Stauffer, the opener. Phillips scored 2 minutes later. 4 minutes after that, Tony Alfaro in the 32nd minute from the penalty spot. El Paso wins 2-1. Means Las Vegas, with a win tonight, would hold the number 2 seed in the West. And with it, a potential second home game in the semifinal. And as we know all too well, the number 1 in the West is not fait accompli to reach the final. So if New Mexico were to falter, the Western Conference playoffs might be running through the Vegas Strip.
That'll be great for the fans. They don't have a huge fan base yet, but a run like that, and I think a lot of people will decide to come and watch Las Vegas Lights. So big game for them in terms of implication, but somehow for me bigger for Oakland Roots, because they need to get something out of this. Otherwise it's all down to that last match.
Smart got to it, that blasted by Rasmussen. Follow, hits off the crossbar. Oh, that was a rip from Rafa Baca. The newcomer in from Monterey Bay in his 5th appearance for the club. Whoa.
What a strike that is, 20 yards. It bounced up nicely for him, but he is the keeper hasn't even moved to show you how good that is. George Marks just watched it.
Brought back to Blanchette. If Rafa Baca can start acting as a metronome to this Oakland attack, what a stunning pickup that would be mid-season for Monterey Bay. Frank Yallop relieved of duties while the team was still above the line. Ultimately, they were eliminated this week under Jordan Stewart, who's going to have full intent to try and change what's been a tough 3-year run for Monterey Bay since joining the league. But Baca ultimately said Frank Yallop was the reason he stayed in the professional game. When Yallop left, about a week later, Baca mutually agreed to terminate his deal at Monterey Bay and then landed in the East Bay shortly thereafter. If I had to guess, he probably didn't even really need to move. And that a foul from Baca.
That shot from Baca, that's an exceptional one, because the quality of shots, just calming him down there, Baca is all fired up. And they've had 75 shots in the last 6 games, Oakland Roots, and 1 goal. 75 shots. So the quality of goal hasn't been there. Baca comes along, hits one from the edge of the box and thumps against the crossbar. That's the sort of quality that the Roots need.
Baca a little bit heated there after that. Pulled away from Brandon Stevis, the referee. 1-1 in Las Vegas. Rodriguez in the 3rd, own goal from Hackshaw in the 12th. Win for Vegas. They're the 2 seed. A draw, and they maintain the lead going in to the final weekend of the year. Would need to outperform the result of Sacramento in the final weekend to ensure the 2 seed.
For Sacramento, they're at home to Colorado Springs,
which would decide the 3-4 unless Sacramento were to win and jump Vegas. Las Vegas now guaranteed at least one home game. We'll see. There's more. They're 4 points ahead of the Switchbacks. And no one's going to catch New Mexico, but New Mexico has been lagging. 3 winless, couple of losses and a draw of late.
One of those losses was 4-0 at Sac Republic, so they got absolutely smashed there. And once again, Oakland Roots, set piece. You might not create much in open play. These are the areas where maybe man for man, you've got somebody a little bit taller than the sort of slightly smaller Las Vegas players.
Njai. Well, you got to get the service on the mark. Jab down and ultimately sent out to the Locos.
Just looking at the quality of the pitch, looks quite nice. There seems to be grass everywhere.
They've done a fantastic job. Cashman Field, all due respect, in past years, has not been a great facility to play a soccer match. What they've done to add sort of that flat side over on the far side rather than just sort of an empty outfield. Asante showing his frustration with Baca. Baca is going to get a talking to.
Yeah, it was an unnecessary tackle from Baca as far as I could see. It's late. It's late, it's premeditated. You know, it's a yellow card for me. That's a little bit of nastiness. And that's why Solo Asante's upset, not necessarily the hurt. It's just a bad, nasty tackle. And he doesn't get a yellow card. I mean, he's a very lucky man there.
He is, and yet part of me wonders if Asante didn't roll the third time, if the official would have been more likely to give it, if that makes sense.
But he rolled out of anger of being kicked after he had already passed the players. So, yeah, but I hear what you say. Certainly the second and even the third roll, not necessary.
Sometimes when you sell it too hard, you actually end up getting less than you deserve.
Yeah.
Throw here for Vegas, and they want to move quick. A little surprised they weren't able to get that off a little faster. But, the referee deeming that Smart needed to move a bit further back. Take that throw.
It's a high boot. Yep, the yellow card.
And now Smart is down. He's the one who collided with Njai previously.
Look,
oh, wait a minute. Well, maybe he's just got the red tucked into his book. So he just pulled the whole book out. It was an initial yellow.
He wasn't booked earlier, was he, Njai, when he gave away the foul?
Nope.
So, but it was also, I think he's arguing that was this no different to the one where he got kicked. It was a high boot. And that's what frustrates him. So now he is in the book.
10 yellows and a red this year for Njai.
It's going to be a tough enough afternoon as it is for Oakland, chasing Las Vegas in their possession game, but you don't want to get down to 10 men. And Sean Smart's not happy. He's having a word with the ref.
High arcing ball, Noel lofting, Blanchette. Turned it over, tried to play quickly, knocked down by Pinzone. Sante, that deflects, that's a corner.
It was a clever thing from Blanchette to do if you can pull it off. But if it gets blocked on the way and comes straight back and you're facing another corner, then it's not worth the risk. So he put his hand up there. You know, I prefer if you're gonna knock that sort of ball, knock it over everyone. Don't knock it low because it so easily can be cut out.
Sante going high and Gondo's got a cannon. Floating. Back to Shabang. Riley started the other way.
It's a rare opportunity for Oakland Roots to try and get some players in the opposition half of the pitch. And Sanchez just keeping an eye on his team, who have controlled the ball really well, and yet in between that, Oakland Roots have had a couple of little sniffs of goal, a few set pieces. Can't rule them out. They're certainly not possessing the ball much, but when they do get it, they have proved to be a little bit of a threat.
Riley pushing it in Gondo. 40th minute tonight in Las Vegas at Cashman Field alongside the Strip. Pumped over the top. Mark Velashvili got something on it. This will skitter out of play. Not the best work. The deflection from Coleman Gannon.
I think the other big problem about not having the ball much when you play in Vegas is the temperature. You know, normally in summer it's over 100 and you start running around the way Oakland Roots are, you're dead by the last 15 minutes. At the moment, what is the temperature sitting at? 71 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not too bad. It's a temperature in which I think it's a reasonable temperature to play soccer in, but you only have to go back about 2-3 weeks and it was blistering hot in Vegas.
Regular 3-figure temps all summer here. Asante. And Gondo drops off. Knocked over to Noel! Save Blanchett! Oh, that is a stunning stop! That is brilliant football from Las Vegas, and Blanchett put an end to it.
How many times has he dived to his left to either make a save or to make sure the ball goes round? Or he's working on one side of his body a lot in this match.
Service, there's a little pull down there, play on. Gondo made the space, and Gondo, that's blocked. Vegas know they have to entertain, and they are trying to score an entertaining goal, no doubt. Ball in front, didn't go. It goes shebang. And yeah, that was helter-skelter. He went right through his ankles. Oh, man.
They're hard to stop, aren't they, Vegas? And they play this touch ball smart here. Lovely first time hit. That is a brilliant save from Paul the Wall. But the way that Vegas move it around, they're so hard to stop. And then if they have to go route one, they just bring Corey Bennett off the bench second half and they can try some high balls.
Oh, that's a concern. Rafa Baca is down. Three-time trophy winner at Cruz Azul, over a decade there for Rafa Baca, the 35-year-old Mexican.
It's just interesting that all four major attempts on goals by Las Vegas have been to Paul's left-hand side, Blanchett's left-hand side. Nothing coming to the right side, but every one of them has either been a great save or it's hit the post or it's just flashed wide. Gavin Clinton's got a problem here because just can't stop Las Vegas creating opportunities, and you have to think just from the odds something is eventually going to flash into the back of the net. Yeah, doesn't look good for Baca. Hobbling and boot off does seem to suggest that he's thinking about whether he's going to come back on or not.
Yeah, starting to do a little bit of that rapid movement to see how it responds. You know, you mentioned Gavin Clinton. I think back to middle of July, they played a game against Sacramento in Oakland. Game that was supposed to be on CBS. Oh, here, watch out.
Rasmussen was a little bit late there, and He just ran, I think, straight into Hafferty, and it was an unnecessary thing to do. You've got to keep your eye on the ball, which he didn't. And Hafferty didn't like it, came straight back at him. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, Rasmussen just straight into Hafferty, not even watching the ball, and Hafferty says, no, I'm not going to accept that. To me, that's a yellow card. If a player runs into another player and is not looking to play the ball, doesn't even have his eye on the ball, I think it's a yellow. But again, we get the benefit of seeing it slow-mo. These referees have to make an instant call, and it's hard. If it's hard to see what's happening, you can't give something you think happened. You have to be absolutely sure. So I understand why the ref didn't give the yellow, but seeing it again, Rasmussen's a lucky man.
And if you watch Stevis, he's gone to all parties and essentially said, no more.
Yeah.
Here's Baca returning. That's good news after it appeared he'd take the knock to his foot or ankle. But I want to go back to July for a moment, right? Ultimately, there's probably going to be the most watched game in championship history, if not for President Biden announcing that he wouldn't run for the Democratic nomination. It was supposed to be on CBS. It was Oakland and Sacramento meeting that day. It was also, to give historical context, the same weekend as the CrowdStrike airline debacles as well, to sort of give an idea of both how recent and how far back it was. Oakland went into second place in the West that day, and that was 21 games into the season. Here they are in game 33, on the verge of missing the playoffs. So this Oakland team and the vibes around it, and the win they picked up against Sacramento that day, it was 8 wins in 11 for them. And Gavin Glinton had just taken over the team in May. Ball knocked across and cleared into stoppage time. We'll go 3 added minutes.
Basically, in the last 9 matches, they've got 1 win.
Yeah.
So it has been a rapid fall. A couple of draws thrown in there, but a lot of losses. 5 losses in the last 6 games. That's where it's really happened. If you pick up 1 point from 18, teams around you are picking up points, you're going to slide down any league very quickly.
Especially one as compact as this has proven to be in the West this year. Here's the bottom is slagged off here at the end. Tossed in by Njai, knocked down by Hackshaw, rolled across the face of Riley and out.
Again, a nice little set piece throw in there into the box, causes problems. Might not be able to make too much an open play, Oakland Roots, but they certainly cause stress on that Las Vegas defense from set pieces and situations in which they've won possession in a good area. Get ball into the box. The lovely football, without doubts, coming from, as I say that. The lovely football's coming from the home side as they give away a bad ball. But it is the way they knock the ball about Las Vegas. It really is. It really is great to watch. As you were saying earlier, all the attack players are all great passers and touch players with the ball. And they move in different positions. You get, Noel on one side, Asante, then they can suddenly swap, and Pinzone can go out wide.
This hammered from distance, knocked straight down. Rodriguez is there again, and this time Marks spared his blushes. And all the while, Howell is down, and he's shaking his head as if this is a serious issue.
It's almost a carbon copy of the goal. It's a shot from out wide, and Jai gets it on target. Goalkeeper drops it right in the danger area, and Johnny Rodriguez is there waiting, gets the shot, and it gets blocked by Howell, who gets the kick from Rodriguez in the process. But the second time that George Marks has dropped a ball in a danger position, and from a goalkeeping perspective, I think what you've got to do is connect with the ball really hard and push it away from danger. Push it 10, 15, 20 yards away where no one can jump on it, but you drop it inside your 6-yard box. That's just where Johnny Rodriguez lives. He waits for those opportunities. That's a little bit of a let-off for Las Vegas Lights.
But the concern around Malik Howell continues. Been a little bit strapped at center back throughout the year. Some players in and out of position in the role. And the magic spray Yanked out by the athletic trainer.
They can always drop Usman Jabang back into centre back, which is where he played last match. And then, of course, they can bring on any number of players. Andre Fortune's fit enough to go in the midfield. Charlie Adams played last match. He can go midfield. Joe Zhao can drop a bit deeper. Here again, see how George Marks just drops it. He kills the pace off the ball and drops it. To me, put pace back in the ball and get it away from the danger area.
So that's good news that Howell's got a little pep in his step. We had 3 added minutes. We had gone about 2 before that injury, so we'll probably get up to 50 or so if the referee is so inclined. Fourth confirming that Howell wants back in. Here he comes. He's coming off a hamstring injury. It's unclear just how much time they thought he'd be able to give here tonight. Didn't even make the bench. 3-0 win at Birmingham. And there's halftime. So Oakland grabs the goal in the 3rd minute. Rodriguez, Johnny on the spot, and then Hackshaw, regrettably, scores a pretty filthy back heel inadvertently into his own net 9 minutes later. 1-1 at the break.
Yeah, most of the chances to me coming from the lovely play of Las Vegas Lights. Shots on target, good saves from Paul Blanchett. But within that, there's been a couple of little half chances for Oakland Roots as well, including that last one now when George Marks pushed the ball into the danger area. So this one's still finely balanced at this stage.
Halftime presented by Southern Nevada Water Authority. Change your watering clock now to avoid costly water waste fines. Halftime coming up. Look around the league, all coming up. Vegas and Oakland 1-1 at the intermission.
As a Great Clips salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Hello, my name is Ramon Martin del Campo, City of Henderson police officer and former Las Vegas Lights team captain. My mother, Susie, desperately waited for a second chance after years of fighting kidney disease. Through a paired kidney exchange program, she was able to receive the gift of life through transplant. Currently, about 85% of Americans waiting need a kidney transplant. I am a living kidney donor. Nevadans are giving. Join us at wearenevadans.org.
We live in one of the driest cities in the nation. Let's live in the desert, not in denial. Saving water is desert living. Do your part to conserve water. Visit snwa.com.
At Comprehensive Cancer Centers, the most advanced treatments and breakthrough research are helping our patients thrive. But some of our most powerful treatments are preventative. This begins together in our community through awareness, outreach, education, and support. From healthier living and self-checks to screening for early detection, we can now find and treat some cancers before they strike. We're doing this together, Southern Nevada, and teamwork saves lives.
Hello, my name is Ramon Martin del Campo, City of Henderson police officer and former Las Vegas Lights team captain. My mother, Susie, desperately waited for a second chance after years of fighting kidney disease. Through a paired kidney exchange program, she was able to receive the gift of life through transplant. Currently, about 85% of Americans waiting need a kidney transplant. I am a living kidney donor. Nevadans are giving. Join us at wearenevadans.org.
Tonight's halftime is presented by Southern Nevada Water Authority. Change your watering clock now to avoid costly water waste fines. Playoff-bound Lights, moribund Roots at the break. Mike Watts, Gary Bailey back here in Vegas. How about we get you caught up with the USL Championships Team of the Week from Week 32. Diego Gomez in Phoenix getting a vital 4 points. Danny Barrera 3 goal contributions in a 4-3 win that they had to have against North Carolina.
Yeah, nice to see him playing well. He's been around the league so long and had a quiet season this season. From Las Vegas' point of view, Coleman Gannon with a goal and an assist against Birmingham did really well. Grayson Duty with a goal, the winning goal against Phoenix Rising. A cross and sort of sneaked in. So Las Vegas with both those players there. Then just looking around, Ethan Zubak doing so well for Orange County, scoring and setting up goals there. Amadou Dia bombing down that left-hand side for Lou City.
Meanwhile, Pablo Cisniega, career-high 11 saves for San Antonio in a 4-point week that they desperately needed.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it. We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome to Do or Die. Welcome to stories that give meaning to it all. The juggernaut chasing history. The hero hoping for a Hollywood ending. The upstart determined to make the most of its shot at glory. Welcome to second guessing everything. Every coach's decision. Every referee's call. Every pass, shot, tackle, save. Because you know it all means more now. Welcome to the playoffs.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We're proud to offer 11 conveniently located imaging centers across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
Back at Cashman Field, tonight's halftime presented by Southern Nevada Water Authority. Change your watering clock now to avoid costly water waste fines. 1-1 between Oakland and the Lights. Take a look at news and notes presented by Tiger Balm. And how about the Rowdies, displaced by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. They'll finish out the season at IMG Academy. 20,000, 10,000 from the fans, 10,000 matched by Louisville City to assist in their recovery.
That's wonderful to see, especially from two rivals who, when they play each other, gets a little bit chippy. And yet, when the need was there, then Louisville City were able to raise all that money, and that's wonderful to see that you know, when it's needed, rivalry is transcended by helping each other.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Conversely, Davion Kimbrough called in to the under-15s for the U.S. Big news for the youngster. And Copa Tejas, believe it or not, El Paso may well finish last, but they won't finish last for that trophy. They hold on to the fan-created Copa Tejas over San Antonio. Now, other results in the Western Conference are actively changing the playoff race. The schedule around the league brought to you by Advanced Imaging Solutions. One company, many solutions. Monterey Bay is already eliminated in Colorado Springs with a lead there, 72 minutes in. Memphis over Phoenix, which keeps them within grazing distance for Oakland to try and catch. But the big one as it pertains to this game, El Paso knocks Sacramento out 2-1. It means a win for Las Vegas tonight. They own the 2 seed.
That's huge incentive, and I'm sure it's being mentioned at halftime. in that Las Vegas locker room. And as far as Oakland Roots, it's not about what others are doing. It's about them having to get something from this match. Ideally, from their point of view, 3 points.
Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, Hartford, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, all at the line and all coming up with massive victories.
Yeah, bad one for Loudoun and certainly Birmingham as well. Bad results for both of those, but big results for the others. Well done there, and Rhode Island cementing their place almost certain in the playoffs.
And here's the upcoming schedule. Fan Appreciation Night concluding will not be the last home game of the year. The West quarterfinals will be November 1st to the 3rd. And the upcoming schedule is presented by Advanced Imaging Solutions. One company, many solutions. Go to North Carolina for the final game of the regular campaign. They're hoping by the time this one is done, it'll just be for hoops and giggles. We'll find out. Southern Nevada Water Authority presenting the halftime. Las Vegas and Oakland 1-1 on the Strip in Las Vegas.
We live in one of the driest cities in the nation. Let's live in the desert. Not in denial. Saving water is desert living. Do your part to conserve water. Visit snwa.com.
As a Great Clips salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Yeah, let's redo the basement.
Hello, home movie theater.
Spare bedroom.
Why not both? Use the U.S. Bank mobile app to apply for a home improvement loan. It's easy.
Wonderful, Alex.
Hey, that's what U.S. Bank is for. Anything else?
How about a loan for a bigger car? Our family is growing.
Oh.
Yeah, my brother's moving in with his 5 dogs.
Oh.
Heyo! And we're expecting.
Expecting what?
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together.
All right, team. I'm not angry. I want to know who broke this. I want to make sure this doesn't happen again in the future.
We found this tangled up in the transfer rollers. Who did this?
AIS is a proud sponsor of the Las Vegas Lights Football Club.
We live in one of the driest cities in the nation. Let's live in the desert. Not in denial. Saving water is desert living. Do your part to conserve water. Visit snwa.com.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Southern Nevada Water Authority, by La Bonita Supermarkets, by Silver State Schools Credit Union, and by Comprehensive Cancer Centers. Let's take a look at halftime highlights, and these great clips are brought to you by Great Clips.
This is Rasmussen, has the shot. Marks doesn't deal with it very well, drops right in the danger area. Johnny Rodriguez says, thank you very much. And they were one up, Oakland Roots. Nice and early on in that, against perhaps run of play, because Las Vegas controlled possession, moved the ball around so well. Noel here opens up an angle. What a save from Paul the Wall.
Blanchette probably has 2 really solid invitations to the Save of the Week Club. 22nd minute, nothing you can do about this.
Yeah, it's tough. Pinzone got to the line here, pulls it back, comes off the heel of Neville Hackshaw, and just somehow finds its way into the back of the net. So unlucky for Oakland Roots, but that's the pressure that Las Vegas apply, putting a lot of ball into the box.
Ahead to the 15th minute, look familiar. Well, Blanchette wouldn't get a touch, but the post would. 31st minute continues this off a set piece.
Volley gets blocked, and then from here, Vaca absolutely thumps that crossbar. George Marks does not even move. Then down the other end, Vegas, that lovely one-touch football that they're capable of. First time hit, and who's there? Pull the wall.
Valentin Noel denied. And Blanchett keeps it level going into halftime at 45+2. A final chance. Long way out, Njai and Rodriguez denied by a sliding Malik Howell.
Malik Howell doing so well there. Njai tests George Marks and just once again drops it in the danger area. Look at the possession, 78-22, and yet shots on target. Oakland Roots. So in a funny way, they don't get much ball, Oakland Roots, but they have been quite a threat around that Las Vegas box.
That is one of the most staggering possession numbers I can remember seeing in the championship. So, a 1-1 at halftime. And the team's back out on the field. Oakland making a change. Malik Howell picked up that injury late in the first half. Appears he'll be on the board from the fourth official. So looks like Adams is going to be coming on for Howell defensively. And to your point earlier, Jabang appears poised to move back into the center back role. Meanwhile, there is Cosi Donaciano. After Rafa Baca picked up a knock late in the first half. So both sides appear to have made changes due to some knocks suffered in that first half. So with all the bookkeeping and accounting done, looks like we're about ready to kick off this second half of play in Las Vegas. There's Adams, who will sport the captain's armband. And the second half kickoff is presented by Comprehensive Cancer Centers. Kick cancer in Las Vegas for more than 40 years. Las Vegas and Oakland, not that far apart if you look at the records. And yet second and eighth coming into tonight's action. So indeed, it's the two injuries that were suffered at the end of the first half, one each way, that's going to result in changes at halftime. Donaciano comes on for Baca for Oakland, and then Howell replaced by Adams with a little bit of positional shifting for Las Vegas. The good news, if there is any, with those injuries, both were able to finish out the half, although they've come out now.
Yes, which means that hopefully they'll be fit for the next game. And nothing you can do with injuries, you have to make those changes. What interests me is what changes they will make in the second half through choice. And of course, you've got to expect Corey Bennett to come on for Las Vegas and just offer a different threat up front if they want to go and get the full 3 points. Las Vegas, which I'm obviously sure they would want to do. We do have some other options as well with Joe Zhao. Corey Bennett would be the big one for me for Las Vegas.
Substitutions tonight brought to you by Desert Radiology.
So some stats from the first half. Final third entries, 38 for the home side, 19, exactly half for Oakland, which I didn't think was so bad with a very, very small amount of ball. That's risky.
Marks sliding in.
With the small amount of possession they had. But maybe what gives you a better idea of that lack of possession, total passes, 316 for Vegas, 82 for Oakland. That means that Oakland spent a lot of time chasing the ball, which can get very tiring.
If there's any good news, middle of October, it's a temperate night in Las Vegas, but when the numbers are that staggeringly diverse, it usually doesn't matter whether you're playing in the Arctic or you're playing in the Sahara.
You're going to feel it.
Ball chipped in, knocked down. Maybe there's something here for Oakland. That wasn't hit quite right. It hung a little bit behind Camden Riley. He was trying to unload on it. Donaciano finding his way into the attacking third right off the bat. Oakland 6 winless coming in. Their offensive struggles well documented. Las Vegas Mentioned one loss in 20, have just grown and grown. 26 points from their last 11 games with 11 different lineups and 20 different starters.
Wow. Can I mention, scored in 19 of their last 20 games.
Incredible, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
They're hanging right there with the Louisvilles of the world in terms of scoring a goal being a when, not if proposition this year.
Yeah, very much so. Although having said that, they've conceded 41. That's highest of the top 6. And coming into this match was equal to the bottom 2 clubs, El Paso and Monterey Bay. So they haven't kept it tight enough at the back, I'm sure, for Dennis Sanchez's liking. As we often say, going into the playoffs, it's the teams that keep it tight at the back that generally win. So that's maybe for an area for Las Vegas to try and improve upon.
Numbers improving once Raiko Rosarena joined the lineup, although his return from international duty stymied tonight. Marks in goal instead. All whipped over the 6. And brought down in front of Sinistera. Sante. Cannon was onside. And Hackshaw. Foul from Smart.
I'm not so sure there was much contact there, and Dennis Sanchez probably believes the same. But Njai cleverly goes to ground, wins the free kick, takes off all the pressure. Makes out like the ankle's sore, and then we'll start going into full run soon.
He's going to be putting ice on the weirdest places tonight. It's not going to be an enjoyable ride home for him.
You know what? If you're Oakland Roots, you don't care how you get a result. You don't care how many times you have to fall over or win free kicks or whatever. You just got to return home with something, 1 point, but obviously ideally 3, and just wrap this playoff place up once and for all.
Marciano. Memphis leading Phoenix at the moment. Colorado Springs up on Monterey Bay. Orange County and New Mexico are scoreless late in their matchup tonight. Not a lot of help for San Antonio as they try and burst through the door on the last day. That's what it's going to take after a draw against Louisville earlier tonight. Rodriguez in the 3rd, then Hackshaw the own goal in the 12th. 1-1, 6 minutes gone in the second half. Smart wiggles free, pops this up, snagged by Blanchette. Where would Oakland be tonight if not for Paul Blanchette throwing a cape on in the first half?
Made some wonderful saves. Absolutely brilliant. It's been in really good form most of the year. I go back to the Hartford match. It's the last time I can think he made an error. He had a shot at him very similar to what George Marks did. It sort of bounced down into a danger area, and they put that one in the back of the net. That's been a very rare error from Paul Blanchette. Other than that, he's been really, really solid. And they've needed him to be, because they certainly have struggled to score at the other end of the pitch.
Second team All-League last year, started all 34 Oakland games. His 4th year as the starter for the Roots. Foul on Sinistera. 26-year-old Colombian who was brought in from the Paraguayan First Division at the end of August. Said this guy is always chirping, uber competitive around training. He's got a little bit of creativity to him from wide areas as well. XG tells quite a story here. Las Vegas, despite their chances, they haven't made Oakland sweat nearly as much statistically as you'd anticipate. despite the couple of nice saves from Blanchett. Saw the frustration billowing of Gavin Linton and Noella talking to.
Yeah, I just feel that with Corey Bennett on the side, Las Vegas, they bring a whole extra element into their match. They change, they test teams with aerial balls, and so just assuming that at some point in the next 10-15 minutes, Dennis Sanchez will make that change, and then you'll see balls getting whipped in the air, and that's going to provide Oakland Roots with a whole nother set of problems.
Adams, well done. Asante cuts inside. Pirouetting and Gondo. Down the line, options galore. There's the cut back. Zone navigating. Not a 9 in the same way Bennett's a 9. Pinzon, a lot more horizontal movement.
Yeah, they interchange so well. Noel, Pinzon, Asante, Coleman, Gannon. They're very hard to. You can't man mark them because they're all over the place.
There's Asante showing that the proof is in the pudding on that comment. Smart lets it by. Asante trying to get end line. Bodies all over the floor. Ultimately, Oakland walked this out through Hackshaw. Met by Johnny Rodriguez.
I think it was a Las Vegas throw-in, to be fair. The fourth official standing right there, but he doesn't really have a say. It's up to the assistant ref, I guess.
Penny for Coleman Cannon's thoughts. Oh, man.
Probably a good thing we couldn't hear him say anything. It wouldn't have been pleasant.
They seemed to make peace by the time it was done. It doesn't mean there wasn't something said before that, though. Cannon with a hairdo that would only be truly loved in Las Vegas. Set long, and there's Marks, who had actually worked with Dennis Sanchez going back to his teenage years before he went to Clemson. Three-time All-ACC there, ended up at Charlotte. Ball through down the left-hand side here for Las Vegas. Ball for Noel, wanders beyond his reach.
Pinzon has got to put that ball in slightly better. Noel's there. It wasn't far away, but the quality from Pinzon, and again, he's not a number 9. He's floated out wide, Christian Pinzon. Coleman Gannon on the ball here. Plays him in, and then he can see Noel make the run. He wants to put it with pace, but it's just too far ahead of him. Great fighting from Ngando, and great picking up from Coleman Gannon. Pinzon, there's the ball, and it's just literally a foot ahead of Valentin Noel. So those are the moments that you really need the quality, and Pinzon couldn't find it.
Bang through Marks. All of the loanees that have bolstered Las Vegas the back half of the year. Sante called for that to come centrally. It comes to Gannon. Got underneath Hackshaw, and Hackshaw eventually able to ply his way out of it. Trinidadian midfielder. Not the most intelligent play in toward Hackshaw from Rasmussen. Ball stabbed down through now. Smart cuts back across. Smart got taken out. Play on. Back over to Gannon. That's blocked. Well, that's going to deserve a replay.
I'm just wondering why Smart didn't take a shot. It was all set up, and I know he tried a very clever little pass. If it had come off, it would have been fantastic. But he's 6, 7, 8 yards out. Have a look at it again with a chance to shoot. So there's the pass coming in. Touch and hit it. I mean, it was being closed down, but still it's worth a crack. Wow, this was so close. And bang, hit it. And he plays the pass. If it comes off, it would have been a tap in for Pinzon, and it would have looked world class. But I think when you get the chance to shoot from 8 yards, you go for it.
And the slide from Njai, nothing to that. Didn't look like he made contact.
The ball had already gone, so do you give penalties for slide tackles that come in when there's no ball nearby and it wasn't meant?
I'm inclined to say the referee got that right.
Yep, I would agree.
When you first see it in live action, you're kind of going, whoa there.
As we keep saying, the referee doesn't get the chance to see it again like we do. So if you're going to see it in real time and you're not sure, it's the same thing over and over again as a referee. If you're not sure, you can't give it. A lot of people get upset with referees and go, well, you know, in replay, you can clearly see, well, he doesn't get the replay, or she doesn't get the replay. So you have to imagine, if I saw it once, what would I give? And if I had to be absolutely sure, what would I give? And I think almost every time you end up agreeing with the referee that they made the right decision given their view of what happened.
Gannon for Asante. Smart running through the middle. A touch from Riley. Denied the service. Riley lofting out. Las Vegas starting to find a little more slickness. Their passing that they had in the first half hour or so of this game.
Death by 1,000 passes, is it? They do it well, though. Lovely passing side, and I think also when you end up doing a lot of running, which you can see the lads in white shirts are doing, the last 10-15 minutes you can be gassed, and that's also when they can hit you with goals. So there is method to the madness of passing the ball as much as they do.
Oakland slinking back into position. Ball through Ngondo. Pops this over, punched away awkwardly by Blanchette, and he'll go collect it. And there's the quick distribution earlier. It didn't come off the earlier going, but in this instance, opens things up here for the Roots. Bang running down Rodriguez. Sinistera, oh, he scored! A sinister go-ahead for the Oakland Roots. His first goal for the club is a stunner right past an hour. And with their playoff hopes hanging in the balance, they go 2-1 up on the second place team in the West.
That's a really good shot from Sinistera, but question marks about George Marks. I'd like to see it again because it looked like the keeper had it. Maybe went under his arm. And that is a vital goal for Oakland Roots. So here we go. We're going to get a chance to see it once again. Now, credit Sinistera. Good turn. Hits it. That's the goalkeeper's ball for me. From what I can see, he's beating him at the near post. We might get a better angle here. But he's got to get his left hand to that. You can see the reaction of the Las Vegas players, heads in hand. They expect the keeper to make that save. I'm sure he does as well. So that's an error for both goals, the way I see it, for George Marks. And not a happy second appearance for Las Vegas Lights.
Sinistera's first for Oakland. Corey Bennett coming on, Asante off, Gannon coming off, Joe Zhao coming on. Subs are presented by Desert Radiology. Sacramento have the unenviable job of trying to fly home from El Paso in the morning. And they'll do so having fallen 2-1 to the Locomotive. They may be let off the hook and given a chance to grab the 2 seed again next week, should Las Vegas, in fact, drop the points tonight against Oakland. Wild night in the West.
Absolutely fantastic. This is when soccer's at its absolute best, when you get near playoff time. But I do feel that with Corey Bennett on the team now, you'll see a lot more balls being whipped into the box, a lot more threats coming from him.
Well, shuffled inside for Zhao.
So to that thought, this match is a long, long way from being over, I would suggest.
So Las Vegas dropped back down to 50 points in the live table. Only 1 point clear of Sacramento and Colorado Springs. Hold a 1-0 lead in their game tonight. Those are the live standings preceding the goal. Las Vegas drops to 50. Ball lofted in and snagged there. New Mexico can't move. They're at 59. Meanwhile, down at the playoff line, this is prior to the goal. Oakland was just above, but only 3 points clear of San Antonio. Oakland jump into 6th place, and they'd be out of San Antonio's reach. Phoenix is now down 1-0. It means San Antonio would have a chance to catch Phoenix on points. Double sub coming here for Oakland. That'll be Alexieve and Reed placing Rasmussen. Phoenix won the season series against San Antonio by head-to-head goal difference. So if all these results hold as they are, including Orange County 0-0 with New Mexico at the moment, San Antonio would be eliminated, and we'd have our playoff field in the West. Just be all the jostling to see how the seeds line up next week. But as we know, it's not that simple.
Oh yeah, there'll be more twists and turns in these games to come in these final minutes, no doubt.
That could mean Orange County dropping their result to New Mexico. It could mean Oakland, they're drawing or losing. This game would open the door back up for San Antonio. Have to think Alan Marcina's group right now is probably most likely watching this game as the clearest path forward. Try and salvage their season next week. They finish with Detroit after picking up a draw against the Players' Shield winner Louisville earlier tonight. 25 minutes remaining here.
It's crazy to think San Antonio 2 wins and 2 draws in the last 4 matches. Where's their form been the whole season? I mean, they must be sitting there going, guys, if we could just have found this form a few weeks earlier, we'd have cruised into the playoffs. It's not like the form isn't there.
No, it was a little bit of tinkering in the early stages of the season by their own admission, and ultimately as they got toward August, started to not only get healthy a bit again and start to find that form, but it may be just about a week or two too late. They got it turned around. Sinisterra and Rodriguez, the goals tonight for Oakland, could be the final puncture wound to San Antonio's season. Header back from Jabang into George Marks. But long way to go. Long way to go. San Antonio is rooting for New Mexico and Las Vegas right now, which are words that have probably never been spoken in league history.
It would be a great victory for Oakland Blues, not just because it assures them of playoff soccer, but a win at this stage, so close to the playoffs, just gives you the belief that you can go in and go to a place like Las Vegas, which could very well be the matchup for the playoffs, and get a result, given how bad the results have been. Just the sort of confidence and the sort of score that could do wonders for Gavin Clinton's men.
Orange County and New Mexico has just gone final 0-0.
So I take it that means Orange County cannot be caught by San Antonio, is that correct?
That is correct. Orange County is in. And so now we're down potentially to 3 for 2 spots, some combination of Oakland, Phoenix, San Antonio, with San Antonio being no better than 2 points back. But as it stands right now, they'd be out. Well done by Danny Stone, by the way. Las Vegas native, well, England native who spent a good amount of his time in America in Las Vegas. Fired by Phoenix mid-season. Ball dropped in front, Rodriguez. That skims off of Jabang and out for a corner.
That's great defending from Jabang. He had to throw his entire body at Johnny Rodriguez' shot there, and does so. Keeps his team in the hunt for at least a point from this match. Here we're looking at it again. It's all set up for Johnny Rodriguez. What, 8 yards out? Brilliant defending from Jabang.
Stoppage here, but go back to that. Danny Stone fired by Phoenix after being the assistant to Juan Guerra, winning the title last year, taking the job when Guerra departed for Houston. Relieved while still sitting in the top 6 in the West. Ends up going to Orange County as an assistant to Paul Hardiman after Morton Carlson left, and then named the interim head coach just a few weeks later. He's led Orange County back to the playoffs. Get all that?
Yeah, and I think he's done it almost unbeaten in that spell.
One of the near post knocked down. Forward from Rayvon Reed. And ultimately out.
I think he lost his first match. Since then, 7 matches unbeaten, 4 of them wins. Wow, what a great run there from Danny Stone.
There's an element of Orange County finally got a little bit of injury luck.
Yeah.
Paul Hardiman took over that team, and they dropped like flies. Brutal.
And in the middle of that run for Danny Stone, a 2-0 home victory over the team that had only fired him a sort of 6-8 weeks beforehand.
That was the first win in league history by a coach who had been fired by the opponent within the same season. That never happened before.
Wow. What a good run for Danny Stone, because it cannot be easy. I don't know what it's like, because I've never been a professional coach as such, but it can't be easy when you get fired from a team, because basically you're being told that you failed at the job that you were hired to do, and that's not good for anyone's ego. But to bounce back so well and so quickly, well done, Danny Stone.
Smart. Work down the right for Zhou Zhao. Zhao kept that alive. Hackshaw spearheads this out of play.
Good defending from Hackshaw right behind him. Corey Bennett just waiting to latch onto that. And this is the added threat now coming from Las Vegas. Set pieces, crosses weren't that much of a danger. Without Corey Bennett now comes a real problem for Oakland Roots.
.20 minutes to play. Charlie Adams offering. Too high for Noel. Smart running it down. Well, now Pinzon. Pinzon got the crossaway too high for Zhao. Waiting in on it, Adams. Take the preceding set piece. Return from Bennett. Adams tried to swipe left. Instead, Rodriguez lofting out into space. And Alex Eve can't catch it.
Sure, all the Las Vegas players are rushing back. And at least they now got the ball again. There's something about this Las Vegas side. They have the most points, I believe, from losing positions in the entire USL. So even in this match, the 1-0 down, come back to 1-1. 2-1 down. I wouldn't write them off coming back and at least getting a draw from this match.
Here comes Oakland, firing forward down the right line. Across for Rodriguez! Johnny Rodriguez doubles his money, a dozen on the year. And Oakland, a 3-1 lead. And 3 points would surely do the job for the Roots tonight. 73rd minute, and Oakland celebrates on the road in Vegas.
So does Gavin Glinton, so do all the players and the substitutes. That could be just enough. Lovely ball played in for Johnny Rodriguez, but isn't he the right guy? They played him out wide last match against Phoenix. He didn't do the job there. He wasn't able to get into that central position, but Donaciano puts the ball in, and when he plays in that spot there, Here he is scoring his 12th goal of the season. He plays in that spot. He is absolutely brilliant. What a finisher. The go-to man for Oakland Roots, Johnny Rodriguez.
4 goals over a 2-year span for the Roots, 2021 to 2022. Back-to-back seasons with 12 goals for Johnny Rodriguez. And Oakland up into 6th place. Las Vegas still in 2nd based on other results, and they've got the advantage going into the last week, but the chance of winning this game appears to be slipping by, and Sacramento and Colorado Springs could both catch them. Memphis could as well. Las Vegas next week, if all these results hold, including the Memphis result against Phoenix, which is still ongoing, Las Vegas could go from 2nd all the way to 5th. With all the results going the wrong way next weekend. That would take 4 games to all have exact results, but a possibility nonetheless.
Especially given they're facing North Carolina away, and they are fighting for their lives in the East, so that will not be an easy game. Cam Riley is now down with a bit of an injury. Why is he being kicked?
Mark Velashvili's got a different idea of how to look after his teammate. That was one of the
strange.
more yeah, I can't.
I can't think of another word, but very strange.
Oh, man.
I think if you're Las Vegas Lights, you've got to look at this 3-1 and think, well, 1 goal, certainly George Marks should have done better at his near post. The second one he palms out. They haven't played badly, Las Vegas. But they've dominated the match, dominated possession, dominated most things, created some really good chances. Van Jet's made a couple of fantastic saves. They've just made a crucial couple of errors in defense, Las Vegas, and you can't do that if you want to go on and win the championship. Again, you have to be tight in defense if you want to go on and beat some of the better teams in the fight for the championship title. So work to be done for Las Vegas, no matter how this match ends up.
Njai on a yellow card commits the foul. Double change coming. This is the end of the road for Las Vegas subwise. Dre, Fortune, and Von Koval into the game. Excited to get Fortune back into the team. And Gondo and Pinzone come off. Subs brought to you by Desert Radiology. I think there's a high likelihood you could have scripted out how this day was going to go in the Western Conference. And I don't know that you ever would have landed on this collection of results. It's going to leave a ton of intrigue for seeding and no intrigue for who gets to go to the dance. Koval's 7th appearance since being acquired August the 9th into the game for Las Vegas here.
Look, they have come back from 2-goal deficit, or 1-goal deficit, I should say, to win 2-1 against Phoenix. 2 goals in at a time, so they can find 2 goals on occasion. Just don't know if this is going to be the occasion.
Ball lofted through, leaping up. Hafferty got a ton of air. By the way, it's the first time Oakland scored multiple goals, much less 3, dating back to August 10th. Over 2 months, a 10-game span, home against Loudoun. They'd scored 1 goal in 6 and managed 3 tonight, including a pair from Johnny Rodriguez. And the Sinistera backbreaker in the 61st. So we'll see Oakland jump their point total from last year. They had 42. This would put them at 44. Las Vegas, meanwhile, would have to win at North Carolina to tie the record for most points gained year over year. The Charleston set last year plus 34, they're at plus 31. It also puts that second seed entirely up for grabs on the last day. Vegas win that game, it's simple, it'd be theirs, but North Carolina's tough cookie in Cary, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely, fighting for their lives there. I think what this does, though, it ensures that Johnny Rodriguez is the number 9 for Oakland Roots. You know, Dom Dwyer's been played there a few times, and even Sinistera, Mishi Nadir Sherry, they've tried him there. But given how good a finisher Johnny Rodriguez is, not just tonight, but with these 10 goals coming into this match, I don't think there's any doubt you have to play him as your lead striker.
I think you pointedly asked that question of Gavin Glinton this week. That it just seems like the production is obviously better with Rodriguez in that position.
Yeah, I think he was trying to give Dom Dwyer a chance to get match fit and score goals and rekindle some of his previous form, but I don't think you have time for that anymore. You're one weekend away from the playoffs if this result holds for Oakland. You've got to pick your right team next week, give them a pre-run of what they're going to get in the playoffs, and that's got to be with Johnny Rodriguez as your number 9. So I think that's been settled here tonight. You would think Sinistera with his goal, goalkeeper error or not, might mean that he's on the starting lineup, and Justin Rasmussen had the shot for the opening goal that George Marks pushed out. So both the changes, Sinistera and Rasmussen, have put their hand up for selection from that man there, Gavin Glinton. And Johnny Rodriguez certainly has, so he should virtually have his playoff team more or less mapped out now.
Rodriguez briefly thought that man could fly.
Commitment, though, and he's paid the price in a very painful way.
And those legs shook out. Ball punched in over the top. Sliding effort on the backside. A lot of play. Lashvili. If results hold, we've got the 8. Oakland and Phoenix still trying to see out respective results. Contact galore inside or at the edge of the 18. Nothing doing. But Orange County has in fact clinched tonight. Tulsa, Monterey Bay, and El Paso had already been eliminated, all out. San Antonio waiting with bated breath to see if Oakland will fumble the bag here. Blanchette will take his time, knowing that they are about 10 minutes away from a playoff berth that eluded them last year. They finished 10th after a 7th place finish in 2022. Reed. Noel trying to catch up. Reed the option in behind, comes curling back. transfer from Adams. And it is very possible, extremely possible, these teams could see each other again in 2 weeks.
Well, there's no guarantee it'll be the same result, because Las Vegas, you go back to, you know, when they equalized at 1-1, they were dominating everything, possession. You just got the sense that they could turn it on when they needed to, and that second goal really made such a difference. Sinistera from the edge of the box. The goalkeeper got to get it covered, and watching that one fly over, and George Marks gets caught at the near post. And you could see the reaction, and all the players around him, they all put their heads in their hands as if that should never go in. And then all of a sudden you're chasing the game. So those sort of errors have allowed, to some extent, Oakland to be in this position. I don't know if it would happen again. Lightning doesn't always strike twice. So if these two teams met, I would still fancy Las Vegas to win, but playoffs are about shocks, and today has been one of those. And that man there has been responsible for the first goal, the third goal. He has been in and about and sharp, and I don't think anyone would argue man of the match as far as Oakland are concerned.
Desert Radiology presents the sub. Rodriguez, a brace in this game. Go back, that's the goal that ultimately pulled Las Vegas on level terms, 1-1. All right. Ball from Sherry. Pulled down by Marks. So Sherry comes into the game in his stead. We'll see if he can try and find a little spark himself before the potential playoff run commences. The Phoenix-Memphis game is about 4 minutes ahead of this one. So we should have a result finalized from that, in theory, before this one's done. Smart. Koval. Hackshaw knew the job.
It's all about low block defending now. Everyone behind the ball in that final third.
All lofted up. And Njai spent as much time on the ground as he's spent on his feet tonight. Help back up.
Important for Oakland to mark Corey Bennett, of all players.
Ball driven across, sent away, chested down, and launched out. Here's Oakland is prepared to ride out the storm now.
They've got that 2-goal cushion, as you can see from the scoring summary, and it's a great position to be in with 4 minutes plus a bit added. But again, I go back to that Phoenix Rising game. They scored in the 96th minute, Las Vegas, and I think the 99th. So they are capable of that. It just seems highly unlikely that it would happen again, but wouldn't take anything for granted against this Vegas side.
Racing to get end line. Chipped up, there's contact. Middle of the 18, referee instantly wags his finger no. Brandon Stevis isn't buying it. Fortune. Kicked away from Smart. Back down for Duty. Fortune. Adams has stretched it back out to the left. Zhao crossing. Pounded away and struck with venom from distance. Got the crowd amped. Adams is capable. Adams scored a stunner in San Diego against Las Vegas. The first game of the 2020 season. It's a real mind melter.
He has won this season. It was a free kick from the edge of the box against Lou City.
Koval hits it wide. Zhao breaks it down. Back set by Reed, settled. Struck toward the backside, off the mark from Joe Hafferty.
There's going to be some tired Oakland players at the end of this game because they have run themselves ragged, trying to close down Las Vegas. They're now defending with their lives, body on the line, but what a fantastic performance all round by the Roots. The fans have had some tough matches to watch the last 5 or 6 games, but I think this one will make them more than happy. They can start planning for their playoff viewing.
So really the Memphis-Phoenix game, the only other game ongoing, is more about Las Vegas than it is Oakland. Just pulled in. Because it means Memphis could knock them out of a home playoff spot should Oakland lose, and then the other 3 teams, Sacramento, Memphis. As a yellow card comes out here.
It's a blatant obstruction. Have a look here. Turns and then bang. Diaz just runs straight into him.
Go back to that. If Las Vegas were to lose, Memphis, Colorado Springs, and Sacramento all win, they drop to 5th out of a home game in the first round. That's a big ask next week, but it is possible. Meanwhile, Memphis still needs to see out the last couple minutes against Phoenix to ensure that. So Las Vegas in defeat, likely unable to clinch a home game, which was the anticipation coming into the night. This Oakland win would also see San Antonio out of the playoffs. Ball lobbed in again, and Hackshaw a magnet for this late in games. We'll take Oakland out of reach of San Antonio, and then Phoenix, 3 points ahead of San Antonio, holds the head-to-head tiebreak. Ball rolled over here. Hafferty. Smart. Dips inside. Bennett spins, fires, deflects down. Hackshaw blockades off again. Bennett hangs it up. Header away. And Alexieve sends it away. 5 added minutes.
I think you had the entire Oakland Roots team in their 18-yard box there at one stage. Look at them. They're all just defenders. So many bodies in there. They're making it almost impossible for Las Vegas to find a way in.
They'll try and pick the lock again. Adams. Ball swept in, out for a throw. It's been a pretty miraculous season for Las Vegas. It would take something just shy of a miracle to get this thing level. To the benefit of 3 other teams in the West, it appears a win is probably out of the cards now. And so we'll have a ton on the line. The last week of the championship season as it pertains to seeding, and nothing on the line as to who's going to be in or out. El Paso, Monterey Bay, Tulsa, and San Antonio are going to miss the playoffs in the West. Then in the East, it is a dumpster fire trying to figure out how that's going to play out.
Yeah, very exciting in the East. Incredible ending. But I just wonder for Las Vegas Lights, this result is a big knock, but, and I put the but in there because going into the playoffs, having not put a foot wrong, which up until now Las Vegas haven't, might give them a false sense of the playoffs. Right now, though, a loss.
Ball whittled in front, never got through.
A loss would maybe just, you know, bring them down to earth a touch.
A little focus.
Yeah, it has been an incredible season for Las Vegas. And they play teams off the park and they outpossess them. But if you make mistakes in defense like they've done today, you can be beaten. And that's something you want to learn from and make sure you don't do in the playoffs. So maybe today isn't the worst thing of all to happen to Dennis Sanchez and his men.
Yellow card here. There's a foul and then the ball got kicked away. Halfway through stoppage. That's the kind of thing that could end up costing you if Vegas get one more attack. If Oakland were to drop 2 points, it put them in San Antonio's orbit, 3 points away. San Antonio holds the tiebreaker on Vegas. but not on Phoenix. So a win clinches, a draw does not. Donaciano the yellow. Ball pumped in, that's turned away. Out to Adams once more. Noel turns. Noel fires and scores! Oh, Valentin Noel pulls one back for Las Vegas. That is a brilliant goal.
Yeah, nothing Paul the Wall can do about that one for Valentin Noel's 10th of the season. Fantastic finish, and that's what makes this Las Vegas Lights team so special. We talked about their ability to come back from being behind, the way they find goals, their lovely touch play. They had about 4 chances in the first half to do exactly that. They hit the post once. Paul Blanchette's made a couple of saves, but this one he couldn't get close to. Brilliant finishing from Valentin Noel. And do we have a Phoenix Rising result where they scored in the 95th and 98th? Do we have that potentially coming our way?
Valentin Noel got denied a crazy goal in the first half, and he has paid it back in full now. 10th of the year for Noel. There was a yellow for time wasting to Donaciano, and that goal and the Niall Logue sub all here in stoppage time. You wonder just how much time there is. But Vegas is going to have their chance here. San Antonio's season tangentially is on the line right now too. Driving in, here's Noel. Over to Smart.
Not much time left either which way, and I think you'll see huge celebrations if Oakland Roots can hold on.
Ball across, that's popped away. Comes down to Sherry. Launches downfield, and it's handled. That came down like a missile. We've gone the 5 minutes. But with the goal and the time-wasting card, we're going to go a bit longer. Here's Smart driving ahead. Put a little too much juice on that. And a foul from Bennett. And that might be enough.
You can't go pulling players up off the ground when they're injured, just in case it's a bad injury. Frustration there for Dre Fortune. But as I say, I think once this final whistle goes for Oakland Roots, what a victory this will be. What a defensive performance, what a battle. And they'll be in the playoffs after a terrible run of just, what, 1 goal and 6 matches and 1 point in 18. The relief, the professional relief of having made the playoffs and got a win at Cashmere Field is going to be huge for this team.
Especially if they're back here in 2 weeks. That's it. It is full time, and the Oakland Roots a 3-2 victory on the road. They pull one over on Las Vegas, and they confirm their spot in the postseason.
And what a brilliant game. 5 goals, end-to-end stuff, great defending, great goals, mistakes as well from goalkeepers. It had absolutely everything. I thought there'd be more celebration from Oakland Roots players there. I thought they'd been jumping on each other, and maybe just a pure relief is everything they want for Las Vegas. Huge disappointment, but a learning lesson. And it comes 2 weeks away from the playoffs, and maybe they'll look back at this as a result that taught them a few important lessons about what is to come.
You do wonder if they're aware of the San Antonio-Louisville result, which started after this game began, or rather ended after this game began, but was concluded before halftime. Gavin Glinton, a few words to Johnny Rodriguez. He's the hero of this night. He has saved the Roots season, no doubt. A brace, he's got a dozen on the year, a 3-2 final, and a ton to try and wrap up. It's all coming up here in Las Vegas after these messages.
For over 85 years, Labor's Local 872 and Las Vegas have teamed up to change the world of entertainment, sports, and economic development. Laborers Local 872 is a proud member of Team Vegas. From 1937 to today, Local 872 has been moving Las Vegas forward. Our members built the Hoover Dam Extension Bridge, finished City Center, expanded our roads, and made Vegas the biggest stage in sports. Vegas is ready. It's game time.
At Silver State Schools Credit Union, we help you celebrate life's little moments and guide you through the big ones. Earn 2% cash back on every purchase with our Cashback Rewards credit card.
Silver State Schools Credit Union, your financial partner for life.
Mi raza bonita. Desde 1991 hemos compartido nuestras tradiciones mexicanas. Desde muy temprano, nuestros panaderos empiezan a elaborar los bolillos y el pan dulce. Y las tortillas todos los días salen calientitas. Le digo algo, mi raza bonita, lo que está hecho en la bonita, está hecho en Las Vegas.
Tonight's broadcast was presented in part by the Nevada Donor Network, by Desert Radiology, by Great Clips, and by U.S. Bank. All right, let's take a look at the full-time highlights. These great clips are brought to you by Great Clips, and Johnny Rodriguez was the man on this occasion.
Literally Johnny on the spot, just right there in the right place. That Rasmussen shot not dealt with well by George Marks. Drops it right there for Johnny Rodriguez. It puts it into the back of the net. And then pressure coming from Las Vegas, and this will turn out to be a really unlucky one. Pinzone goes to the touchline, goes to pull it back, hits Neville Hackshaw on his right heel, and somehow finds its way past Paul Blanchett into the back of the net, and you thought, okay, this is going to be a problem for Oakland Roots, but they held on, they battled, they kept pressing, and then Sinistera turns here, hits this one from 25 yards, and it goes under George Marks' hand or round his hand, or either way, thought the goalkeeper had it. Turns out he didn't. 2-1, and the play, you can see the Las Vegas players weren't happy at all. And then as Las Vegas are pushing forward to try and get level, this break, Donaciano on the right-hand side, Johnny Rodriguez is free in the middle. Marks isn't able to catch up. Rodriguez puts it in the back of the net. 3-1, and they're ahead.
That would prove to be the winning goal. A dagger from Rodriguez, a dandy dozen on the year. And the Roots thought surely the playoffs are theirs. But at 90+4, Noel, a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, lovely hit. Just as allowed, just to get close to the edge of the box. The defending that had dropped very deep, the defenders. And instead of getting close to him, he was able from there to bend it around Paul Blanchett. But then it's bodies on the line, and they stopped them from scoring again. And look at that, shots on target. 5 for Oakland Roots on 22% of the possession. Unbelievable stats.
That's what it took. U.S. Bank compiles tonight's match stats. 5 shots on target for Oakland. Only 3 found their way in. We should show you the save of the game. It's brought to you by Nevada Donor Network. Remember, you can save a life at registerme.org. Really, the save is Howells.
Yeah, Howells does really well there. Marks gets his body behind it. It goes straight to Johnny Rodriguez. And Malik Howell does brilliantly well there and gets injured in the process to make that block.
Denies Rodriguez. Could have been a hat trick on the night. The number 17 for Oakland. Tonight's hardest working man of the match is brought to you by Laborers International, the hardest working guys in Vegas. Noel created plenty, and on a number of nights it would have been enough for Las Vegas, not this night.
Yeah, his stats are really good on the day, and his goal was absolutely beautiful, bent into the far post. But you know, if you give goals away a little bit too easily on the one end, it becomes a real battle to get them on the other. And I say, lesson learned for Las Vegas. Might not be a bad thing should they go on to have a really good run in the playoffs. They'll look back and realize that they can't afford to make errors in crucial matches.
Let's show you the Western Conference standings. All the results tonight are now finalized. Phoenix falls to Memphis. However, they hold the goal difference in head-to-head matchups with San Antonio. Means Phoenix will be in, San Antonio is out. We'll add the clinching and the eliminating when it all comes. But above the line, you're in. Below the line, you're out. And that's signed, sealed, delivered. Oakland gets the vital win here. They can't move higher than 5th, but they could still fluctuate between 6 and 8. But the big result as it pertains to Las Vegas, they could have locked down the 2 seed. Instead, they're going to look to next weekend, and they can finish anywhere from 2 all the way down to 5, which would be out of hosting priority in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, and they're away at North Carolina, who are on the edge of making it in the East. So that's going to be a huge battle for the Lights, but something to look forward to. And you go into the playoffs playing these tough matches, it just sharpens the edge for when you actually get into the playoffs proper.
All right, that's it here in Las Vegas. The fans ultimately got a pretty great goal to celebrate at the end, but it proves not nearly enough. Blanchette, brilliant, and the post helps a little bit too. Oakland wins it 3-2. For Gary Bailey, our entire team in Vegas Beyond, Mike Watt saying so long.
Rebroadcast or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.